Hey everyone, welcome to the webinar. We'll probably give it like 3 to 5 minutes just as people trickle in. There was a pretty decent attendance number, so people are just getting back from lunch. I figure we might give them a minute or two.
So nice of you, Mike.
Mm-hmm. Eric, I do appreciate you wearing the Alvin Kamara jersey. He's my Saints are also my team. He's by far my favorite Saints player, other than Drew Brees, since I started watching football. So
we miss Drew a lot.
You don't think Jameis is a good stand-in?
Okay.
I will say, little behind the curtain, everyone here, we're going to talk about fantasy football for 1 second. I will say, as somebody that always drafts Alvin Kamara, last two Jameis Winston games where he's just peppering him like Drew Brees used to do, I'll take that every day. So.
It's great to see so many familiar names here. So hello, everybody.
Oh.
Like Mike said, we're just waiting on a few more people to give them a minute to join.
Who do you know in here, Tom?
Oh, I see Chad Castrilli. Hello.
Hello, Chad.
Scrolling through the list here, a lot of people on here. That,
I bet my boy Russ is really excited to see this. So
I see Kate Ratcliffe in here. Is that familiar, Tom?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 2 Larry Browns, though. All right. Still picking up a little bit, though. Give it another minute.
All right, we got people from South Carolina, Nevada, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, everyone shout out your states, everyone.
Nice.
We want to know who we have here. Hopefully no one from Maryland.
Florida, more South Carolina, Washington. I can't keep up. Ohio, I saw Maryland.
Best Coast, I saw Cali in there.
Colorado, Canada, Indiana, Tennessee, Illinois, Indiana, Maryland. Sorry, Mike, it's Maryland in there.
We'll allow 2 or 3, maybe. New Jersey, those are my people. I love talking to New Jersey contractors.
For Eric's sake, are there any Seahawks fans that are on here?
Let's see if Oregon there.
Mm-hmm.
Washington.
+1 if you guys have Alvin Kamara on your fantasy football team. Nobody.
Kansas, Florida, Virginia Beach. Awesome. Appreciate y'all being here.
Go Hawks.
Love it.
Ban that.
Oh, let's go, Chris. Okay. We're at 5 minutes. We've been like hovering around 125 to 135. So might just get going, guys. For any of you guys that, and I'll say this again later, for any of you guys that need to jump off early or anything like that, no sweat. We'll be sending an email out of the recorded webinar. along with a couple other assets that we'll gather for you guys. So be on the lookout for an email. But yeah, let's go ahead and get going. So hey everyone, welcome to the CompanyCam Leap webinar. My name is Mike Knott. I work at CompanyCam. I brought my buddy Tom on here to chit chat a little bit about the industry and an exciting new announcement we have coming. And if you want to flip to the next slide, Tom, I'll just kind of get right into the announcements. So, and we also have Eric Arendt on here, who is our guest today. I've known Eric for about a year and a half or so. Only met him a couple times, but super cool dude and a user of both of our products. So we figured we'd bring him on a little bit and just have him riff a little bit about, his industry, how work's going, and then, talk about CompanyCam and Leap a little bit. So we'll maybe just start off with introductions. So Tom, you always go first. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, appreciate you inviting me to be on here and to speak with you and Eric. Really excited about that. Just a quick background. I mean, as it says, I'm head of customer experience here at Leap. But, I think more importantly and more relevant, I've been in the industry for 20 years. I started out tearing off roofs, learned how to install, became a project manager, got into sales after that. Did some time in the Marine Corps. When I got out of that, again, did project management sales, got connected with a company called Hover, probably a lot of you are familiar with, about 5 or so years ago. I was there for a few years and then came over to Leap 2 years ago. So I've been here now for 2 years. Really enjoy it. Enjoy working with our partner ecosystem and hearing from customers and learning how we can improve their experience throughout their journey with us.
Cool. Eric, why don't you go next?
Simplify back to those of you that are Marines I see in the chat.
Yeah, my name is Eric Arendt. I'm the National Director of Sales and Marketing for Ninja Concrete Coatings. I'm based out of New Orleans. Here we operate basically from the Florida Panhandle, Alabama, Mississippi Gulf Coast, entire state of Louisiana, and Colorado. I've been with this organization for about 12 years. We come from a background of painting and coating business, a 3-decade-old product, and then we've kind of migrated from the paintings and coatings into a specialty concrete coating product that we partnered up with Pintech back in 2018. I do a little bit of everything here at the organization. I say mainly directing the sales and marketing side. I've also worked very intimately with the rollouts of both CompanyCam and Leap into our organization. We've seen a huge impact in the positive side by introducing both of these applications to our staff. But I'm happy to be here. I appreciate you guys inviting me, and especially glad that you requested that I wear.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm Mike Knott. I work at CompanyCam. So I didn't come from the roofing space like Tom, more on the other side of things in the insurance world. So, Tom, if you're ever working with claims, I was the one issuing checks. And then I moved over to CompanyCam about 2 years or so ago, worked a year in onboarding before moving over to the development side of things, specifically around software partnerships and integrations. So, connecting disparate softwares together, make sure that you as contractors, your data integrity across all systems is up to snuff, and just making sure that the things that you guys are using are working together. So thanks for the intros, everyone. We might start off with, just because from the numbers, it looked like it was a pretty even split between, people that came, where Eric's from Pentech, from company that are current CompanyCam users, and then our current Leap users. So I figured, just to get everyone on the same page, we might just do 2 or 3 quick slides per software, just kind of explain what we do. And then from that point on, we might just have Eric spend the rest of the time. We'll just pepper him with questions and see what kind of gold we can get on camera. So I'll let you go first, Tom, if you just want to give us, fly over what Leap's up to.
Absolutely awesome. I'll just give you the 30,000 foot view. I think as we go, maybe we'll dive into some things deeper, and certainly if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. But at a high level, I mean, Leap is your all-in-one sales platform, and even outside of sales, it does things like tech measures, sheets, different things like that. But if we look at the core of what this is, it gives you the ability for your sales team to stay within specific guardrails and parameters of what they can and can't sell. It gives them the ability to put together estimates in just seconds, leveraging integrations with third-party measurement providers, or also putting in hand measurements are fine as well. And then has a resource section, houses all of your brochures, any material that you might use during like a presentation. There are integrations with Engage and others. And then it's got at its core, it's a document engine. So any kind of document that you want, whether that's a proposal, a contract, a work order, a tech measure sheet, do surveys and assessments, any type of document that is relevant to your business. Maybe it's an inspection sheet, maybe it's putting a contingency agreement in there. All of those type of things can be built out within Leap, and you can have any number of documents that you'd like in there. Outside of documents, it also has the ability to submit for financing. So we've got 10 integrated lenders, so you can instantly get back an approved pending or denied decision from that lender. You have the ability to have a blank credit app, let's say, and if you want to submit to multiple lenders, go right ahead. Information carries throughout the whole process. And then it's got the ability to capture payment, credit card check, all of that. But at the end of the day, it allows you to take that customer information in from your CRM, run your sales appointment, result that lead, push all your documents, all the results of that appointment back into your CRM so that everybody's on the same page, is selling the same products, has the same pricing, has whatever colors are available are the ones that you can sell, and ensures that your business is running really, really efficiently. Back in the day, I mentioned being a contractor, we were putting down the homeowner's information 27 times from the time that lead came in until we filed away that folder in a filing cabinet, which I hate to say. It's like, ugh, there are so much better ways to do that. But this was 20 years ago. And obviously when you're writing down customer information 27 times, there's a lot of room for error there. So what this allows you to do, you capture the information once, it flows through any documents you generate, estimates, all of that, finance applications, and you never have to put that information in again. So it really helps streamline the entire operations. We'll dive into maybe some more specifics later on, and we'll certainly touch on fantastic new integration that we want to show you, but at a high level, that's Leap.
Yeah, you can just click to the next slide.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll go real quick. Yeah, in a nutshell, CompanyCam is a photo documentation and video documentation tool for the contracting space. Kind of our use case and what we're trying to solve is around gathering all of that documentation that your people, maybe 5, 10, 100 people are all gathering out on a bunch of different job sites. And the problem we typically ran into is that contractors are having their people document job sites for liability protection, proof of work, internal accountability, and for marketing. The problem is that the majority of their people are just taking photos locally on their camera, right, on their iPhone, and then rather than getting to the place it needs to go, it all just kind of goes and gets siloed on their phone. So our kind of insight was, if we can, from the point of a photo being taken, pull that off of their phones, sync it to the cloud, and then automatically organize it by the job site, the day it was taken, the time it was taken, and who took it, then you're opening your company up to a bunch of new possibilities, right? Real-time communication, the ability to leverage those photos to communicate with your customer, and then just knowing that from the second somebody sees something out in the field and captures it, you guys have it back in the office. From that point on, you have the ability to communicate without communicating, right? You're not having to make these phone calls, these second rolls out to job sites. So how it works is, kind of like I said, cloud-based, so no photos ever live on their phone. Point of capture, everything's taken. You get all of the relevant metadata that you would need to, communicate internally, to prove a liability claim, to get paid if you're working with, insurance providers or property managers that require proof of work. From there, we have a bunch of other stuff available to you. You can house all of your documents in there. You can give your people pre-filled template punch lists, so you can actually dictate what kind of photos they're taking throughout the process. And then just having all of those, job site photos organized and ready to utilize allows you to very easily capture before and after photos for marketing, that sort of stuff. So from there, you just kind of have to decide what you're typically doing with your photos, right? A lot of people that come to CompanyCam they haven't even solved that initial problem of how do I get those photos from my people and how do I actually organize and use them. So with CompanyCam, it's automatically done. So then what do you want to do? Do you want to, give your customer portals to be able to see progress throughout the job? Do you want to use your photos for estimates or proposals, to further educate, and empower your customer to make decisions? Like, do you want to publish those photos to your website, organized by the project? We have a widget that allows you to do that. Or if you're working with subcontractors or, people that aren't, full-time employees for you, do you want to be able to show them the scope of that job and be able to communicate back and forth internally as well? So basically at all level, from the point of capture, your photos are ready to utilize in whatever way you want with all of the relevant data you need. So that's us in a nutshell. And then as Tom and I will get to a little bit later, the last use case is typically, where do you want your photos to go once they're in CompanyCam? Do you want them to go into your CRM, for example, or your proposal tool? So that's the high level of CompanyCam. So the reason we brought on Eric is he's a cool guy. He likes the Saints, but also he's been, a long time user of both of our products. I've seen him talk on both of our softwares in the past, and he's got a lot of knowledge on both and a lot of knowledge in his industry. So what I might start off with doing, Eric, and this is going to be pretty free form. We'll just kind of pepper him with questions as we go. But tell us a little bit about Ninja Coding and about Pentech and what you guys do, just as kind of a 30,000 foot view, as Tom would say.
Sure. As I mentioned, our background company-wise, we actually were in the exterior painting and coating business. Largely, we stayed away from things that you walk or drive on because, frankly, we were not able to find a product that lasted. It just didn't match the branding. So for us, we were constantly approached with try this, try that, and it just wasn't a good fit for things that you walked upon. Coincidentally, Mike, my boss who's watching here, he and I were both actually seeking out floor coatings for our own homes, unbeknownst to the other, when we were approached from Pentech Industrial Coatings up in Minnesota to come take a look at the product. We weren't really sold on it, but we were intrigued by the fact that the Minneapolis was hosting the Super Bowl on the same weekend that we got invited to come up there. Now the Saints were destined for glory that year, and then the stupid Minneapolis miracle happened. But nevertheless, we made the trip up, saw the product, were intrigued enough about it that we agreed that we wanted to put this in as a supplement into our current business model. That was all it was ever supposed to be. Little did we know that the demand for premium concrete coatings was going to be as high as it was. We focused a lot of energy and marketing and just some new innovative things that we had heard from other people in the market that we respected and gave it a try. And lo and behold, we started off with one trailer in one market. And currently we're running 20 trailers across the 3 markets, like I said, from Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Colorado. It's an interesting product because for the first time in our career, we're selling an exclusive luxury want product. Nobody needs what we have. And it's vastly different from what we had come from in the past and how we market that or present that to clients, the resources that we show, the need for satisfied customers and a constant barrage of projects existed. So, that's Ninja Coatings at the high level there. I say, in fact, the product has done so well for us that at the end of 2020, we broke ties with our painting company that had over 30 years and hundreds of millions of dollars of background. It was giving us some problems, and we decided to focus on this, and we absolutely love it. There's no looking back on that. And to be frank, our exponential growth from that one trailer to 20 and then beyond looking forward is virtually impossible, in my opinion, without the 2 platforms that we're talking about here. And that's not because we're here talking about that. That is a sincere, passionate plea that I make, that what CompanyCam has brought to us from an organizational standpoint as to how we handle the back end of our operation, and then what Leap has done to merge the front end together where everything is coming full circle. It just makes so much sense to us. But I say that when we got started, specifically with Leap, we were just like most companies. We were organization of old habits. We did things the same old way for the same old time. Everything was paper. Just like Tom said, 27 fill outs into the folder, into this, the dusty.
You felt my pain, Eric. You felt that. That was real. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a real pain. So when we took the dive to go in with Leap, as opposed to just integrating that software into our current model, we said, let's break that down, keep the basic pillars of who we are as an organization. Then let's build these software platforms as to who we want to be going forward, not, oh, we're just going to use this software to continue doing what we've done. And I think that all of our team here and our clients could see that made such a huge difference across the board, where literally every single employee in our company has an exponentially positive impact on how these software platforms affect them and their ability to do their job on a daily basis. And I just can't say enough about that. Yeah, there you go.
So one thing I always want to start with, this is just kind of how mind works, is, to kind of describe what that funnel looks like, right? So the first thing I was asking, this is a nebulous question, so like you might not know the answer to it, Eric, but in a typical week, how many unique codings, like how many unique homes are you guys completing jobs for, or a month, or a year, whatever it might be? Do you have any idea?
Again, let's just say in a perfect world, a good weather average job, I'm seeing we're completing somewhere between 80 and 120 jobs on a weekly basis.
On a weekly basis.
On a weekly basis, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I want you to keep that in perspective, because the other thing that's interesting about Penn Tech is that this isn't like a walk out and like cut the grass or something like that. There's multiple steps to each one of these jobs. So if you could, I would be interested to hear you kind of describe, like, from the phone call, like as brief as you want, the high level overview, but like from the phone call to the time you're invoicing the customer, kind of what those steps look like throughout the process.
Sure. So, for us, it all starts with a stimulus. I've got to stimulate your interest to want to pick up the phone or call me or fill out a form or something. And again, for us, this is a highly visual product. So social media has been big for us. We do TV, a lot of referral, word of mouth. But let's just keep it simple. We're typically showing an image, hence CompanyCam. I need to gather those images, but we create the stimulus. We do in-home design consultations. There's no over the phone, there's no ballpark. So there's a promise maker, promise keeper role that's going on where we need to get to the home. All of our quotes are free of charge and hassle, typically take 45 minutes or so. And I would say we convert on a 75% of all inquiries that are inbound to our organization do actually turn into an in-home visit. From there, sales team goes out. We're using Leap specifically in the front end for our estimating softwares. And it's not an estimate. This is the exact bid proposal that we know the inner workings to the penny of our margins and how this thing functions. There's no guesswork. There's no ballpark. There's no, well, let's just round it off here and assume this or that. It's an exact science for us. So our reps have got real-time, completely transparent information at their fingertips with a click of a few buttons. Typical sales presentation, we go out, we do some really basic non-invasive testing of people's concrete. We show them the different products that we have. We have a nice in-home presentation. We also use Engage presently for that. And I would say that the most of the time we have anywhere between 30 and 50, depending on the rep, close rate percentage, a little higher than industry normal, and certainly a little better than the previous world we lived in. So at that point, a sale is transacted. Again, Leap produces the contract information for us in real time, as well as results from that. What's cool, as soon as a contract comes in for us, We have 3 dedicated people in our office who the first thing that they do is actually create the landing spot in CompanyCam. It's literally, that's the priority. A contract happens in Leap, the landing spot appropriately named, tagged, labeled, everything is created. So when that rep leaves the home or goes to build out this profile, it's all there waiting for him in a nice, consistent, universal platform. Rep gets their photos and notes into CompanyCam, all of our documents that we create within Leap, which could include a contract, a diagram layout of the location, labor sheet, results, any commission statements that are due, et cetera. Typically somewhere between 6 and 7 documents that are produced from the Leap profile jump over into that CompanyCam. The labels are then turned on. We have a process of a happy call where one of the 3 girls again makes a call, introduces the company, thanks them for their business, gets them into the queue. We also use Market Sharp for scheduling. We do some projections on forecast. We change labels in CompanyCam to give a real-time status that matches into Market Sharp. We were actually using CompanyCam more as a status job status profile than our actual CRM that's built to do that, because it's so easy for us to filter those and move through. We're also documenting things like inventory projections, particular colors, can this job be done on a rainy day? All the things that we need to know in order to schedule this job is visible at a high level there in CompanyCam. Once a job is then scheduled and confirmed, a couple labels are changed. Job packets are assigned out through CompanyCam exclusively. There's no longer paper. The reps, the installers don't come in and pick up folders anymore. They just tap their calendar, cross-link to CompanyCam, and they know everything they need to know arriving on a job site. Once they get on a job site, they effectively clock in with a label change. And then we have a very organizational specific photo checklist that we require, but both at the sales level and the installation level, that throughout their progress of the day. And it's all those things that Mike mentioned. There's, accountability to make sure that pre-existing damage there, we don't want to have any of that, but also documenting the processes of each step that we do. Particular marketing photos that we're big for. We want them to get those and think like the marketing team, document any problem areas, lot numbers, things like inventory. For us, in the old school, we did a paper inventory form that was turned in and scanned and done here. All that information is actually kept in real time in CompanyCam now. So if we had a claim for a warranty or needed to cross-reference a particular chemical use, that photo lives in CompanyCam. At the end of the day, again, the goal for us is a satisfied customer. We like to get the customer with that happy photo, request a review. If we get that, we put that into CompanyCam, click the label that the job is then complete and funded. That job has then run through our entire cycle. It's then handed over to me, essentially back to the marketing department. I pick and choose what I choose to promote via Facebook or Instagram or whatever other media source we're using. And all that's derived exclusively from CompanyCam. And then we hit rinse and repeat. And we do it over and over and over and over again, sometimes ad nauseum.
120 plus times a week. So
yeah, so that was not the Reader's Digest version, but that truly is the funnel of what happens from stimulus to invoice and then do it again.
And let's back up a second then, because I always want to get that from beginning to end type of experience of what you're doing right now, right? Because when you actually dig into it, it's such a complex process, right? But what was that process like before you used either of those, right? Because this is what Tom was talking to earlier, like before you use software products, like that amount of steps, half of it automated, some of it manual, right? That's where you guys have like took off, but like 30-second version of what that looked like before you found other of our softwares. And then I do want you to dive back into Leap a little bit. I think it's sometimes you can kind of like fly past Leap because so much of it is just automated for your people that you don't even think about it. But yeah, so if you could hit those two things, that'd
I'm sure you would prefer me not to curse here, but it was a total cluster, man. Beforehand, it just didn't happen. None of that stuff actually happened. The best we were offered, we would email some photos into the office. The girls would print a few photos in. Sometimes the reps would or wouldn't come in, write a couple notes, and hand that over to a paper file. Maybe that happened, maybe it didn't. The crews went out, they painted entire homes with essentially no documentation, and we took them at their word that things happened the way they were supposed to. And then when services or complaints came up, we essentially had no leg to stand on to assure that people were doing things right. That creates issues for quality control from a high level overview manage. I can't be on every single job making sure that every crew does what they're supposed to do. When they're having to document it this way, it allows me to quickly jump in and see that. So effectively, it just didn't exist. I mean, we were a very successful company for a very long time, and it just didn't happen for us. So we were lucky, but you run a huge load of liability, obviously, and inability to quality control your processes from that. So it just didn't exist, the honest answer.
Yeah, I would love to hear, you know, we've been talking a lot about production side of things, but I mean, in my brief interactions with you, like the way that you've set up your leap and the way that you think about it is really interesting to me because, you know, from the production side of things, like, you know, at the end of the day, like it gets done or it doesn't, but like sales process is a little bit different, right? Like either it closes or it doesn't, and there's a zillion excuses for why it could have closed or not closed. I think like, if, you know, my experience with Leap, it does a pretty good job of automating so much of that for you and allowing you to really dictate the sales process for your people, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it allows us to control, like I say, the process. Again, without steps, you would see a lot of leeway and, you know, reps kind of doing their own thing. And there's no way I can teach it and train it and communicate that, but to not be able to control it in the field leaves a lot of room for wiggle. With Leap, everything is designed with our system in place. The process goes, you move from step A to step B, you have to do the process for us. So it allows us to control that. It allows us consistency just across the board from the way one rep may describe this particular project may be a little different than this rep does it. With Leap, everything is standardized. It's drop downs and clicks, and we thought everything all the way through on the very, very micro detail level. Is there, you know, we broke this thing down incredibly granular, and we continue to do that. It's our Leap or CompanyCam is not a finished project. It's an evolution daily, almost sometimes. But yeah, for Leap, you really don't. In order to get a transaction, you have to do the steps. You can't get to the finish line without going through the appropriate steps. You have to answer questions that prior to Leap often were neglected or they were fabricated potentially from a sales rep. I don't know that they tested the concrete, for instance. So we document that, and that carries all the way across. And for them previously, they say you're filling out 27 different forms. To be able to put your data in one time and have that carry over the entire platform across multiple documents for us, whether that's an actual contract, whether that's a proposal or invoice or warranty or commission request, every single thing that we do lives with one basic set of data entry. It's incredibly user friendly. You can make transactions in minutes versus hours sometimes, where, you know, it would take 20 to 30 minutes to do a 3 carbon copy set of paper contracts that ended up a lot of times incomplete or inaccurate. Whereas with Leap, you can literally take it from start to finish in less than 60 seconds, and everything is pristine, perfect for us every single time across all markets, across different pricing platforms, across different reps. I've got a system that is scalable and universal every single time. And for me, that's critical. I mean, you know, we talked about Hover and Leap. This is a side story, but this is true. When we first started looking at Leap before Pintech, we knew Leap existed, but I really was just desperate for a proposal creation software. Pre-Leap, My reps would go out, they need a proposal, and guess whose door they knocked on? Mine, every single time. Eric, can you help me build a proposal? Eric, can you do a proposal? We were using Word or PowerPoint. It'd take 30, 45 minutes to get a document to send off. And it was very frustrating because we knew we needed to send good professional proposals, but the timing to do that was not feasible. So I'm super proud of the proposal document that we are able to build in a matter of seconds within Leap, because it sets us apart from our competition. If I need to leave a customer with something, if I can't sell it, I guarantee you 100% of the time, my leave behind is 1,000 times better than anybody else that comes behind me, period. And again, it's just data to build documents. We chose to invest the time and effort into our Leap to make it robust and attractive and thorough, and try to cross all the T's and dot all the I's and rethink, from the mind of the rep to the mind of the installer. How does this affect everybody across the organization, and what can a salesperson do here that might affect a successful installation over there? What can this guy document here that helps an office coordinator that didn't have that? And so we try to cross-link those pieces back together. And like I say, both of these pieces of software have allowed us to do that. And that's the truth.
Eric, I love that, and I'll just add a couple things to that. One is you touched on a good thing. It's like a lot of people will come and they're interested in learning about Leap because they're looking for a proposal, right? And it's like, awesome, like we can definitely help you with that. But then as you've learned it, as you have worked with Leap, it does more than just that, right? Then you start looking at frameworks like, hey, if I want to sell a double hung window, great. How many of those? Oh, 2. Okay, great. You want 2 double hung. Where do those windows go? Are they in the living room? Are they in the kitchen? Are they in the bathroom? Well, okay, you got that. What size are those windows? Let's make sure we grab that. And it's like, okay, we want grid. Okay, well, what grid pattern, right? Is it 6x6, 4x4? It's like, so you need to select that. Okay, you want that. What color grids do you want? And so, as you can imagine, you can't move forward and get that price, or move forward with the process until you capture that information. And a lot of folks will come to Leap because they want a beautiful document, and that's great. Like that's important to have. But then I think as a business grows and as your needs grow, Leap enables you to grow with that software, and it gives you those framework and that architecture to be able to sort of put parameters around what your team can do and how they can do it. And like you said, prevents them from moving forward without having captured information that may be specific. And that could be so much as like, is there an HOA? Yes or no? If there's not, cool, no questions about that. If there is an HOA, okay, what's the HOA? What's the phone number? What's this? What's that, right? Capture all that information because it's relevant to that specific project. If it's not relevant, you leave it off, and then you don't have to capture any of that. But it ensures that you are able to keep everybody on the same page and make sure that they capture all the right information at the point of sale.
Sure. I mean, and what's especially cool for us, and I don't know how many of our 126 people are watching have multi-location points like we do, where certain offices operate. We're running on the same basic program, but my Denver office certainly has a different set of parameters than my Destin office for sure. And for us to be able to customize that on a per office basis and roll out different updates or push things through instantaneously to 20 plus reps living thousands of miles away in real time, that's so critical for us to be able to, again, to keep those processes in line and scale them. And like I say, if I need to make a certain tweak on a particular office, we're able to do that very easily, and it goes a long way. And again, we're looking for that same result, even though sometimes the path that one office or one particular rep may have to take is a little different. But yeah,
one thing that comes to mind for both of you guys, I would just be curious to know, and maybe there's not a decent answer to this, but I mean, what I hear, I travel a lot for work. I work across multiple industries, and like, I mean, you guys watch the news. Like, the toughest thing to do right now is to like hire decent people and to retain them long enough to train them up. So just as you both riff with me on like scaling, right? Like implicit in that is the training process. So like, do either of you guys have like a decent idea, like once you actually get your standard operating templates in Leap built in, like how much time, or what does it take for you to get a rep up and running now that you have all of that locked in? Do you have any idea versus prior to using Leap?
I mean, for us, we'll talk sales rep first. Yeah. Sales rep training can typically be 1 to 2 weeks, depending on level of expertise, class size, et cetera. But again, you guys didn't know this, but we have taken our training documents for both installation and sales and actually captured them in Leap as a process. We use it as a resource there. So all of our training materials are there, and we graduate those steps day by day as we roll things out. We actually build a binder together through that, but it's all being done backwards for that. Prior to having that kind of SOP, all living in one environment, that process that could take a week now could potentially take at least a month, and sometimes 3 to 6 months. And a lot of times the errors were occurring with this. Like I say, it's a standard process that lives there. We can update it as we grow. This changes, we put that in. But I think you gear the question a little more toward the sales, where I think we actually have excelled even better is when we bring on crews, which I think most of the people attending here can understand that there's a real pain in our market, our industry, for bringing on skilled labor to do the services we do, and then educate them on our practices. You may look at, and then just got all these different things that they've got to do. It's almost overwhelming. We think opposite, because we're teaching via Leap and CompanyCam, showing them things, and it's consistent every time. That actually makes for a much smoother transition into our organization. And quite frankly, I think we get a lot more buy-in to the culture of our company by teaching it that way, as opposed to turn the grinder on, do this, scratch that. It's kind of those mundane activities where we can showcase with crews or sales reps the why to the what we do much more easily with these software platforms working together than just talking about what we do. Show me. I'm a show me guy. Why company? Show me. I need to see that. I can relate to that. The crews can relate to that. They learn over and over and over, and they're collaborating, because especially with CompanyCam, on any given project, 100% of our organization collaborates from top to bottom. And that's crazy to think that we have people that, like, everybody is involved, on particular projects there, and it just kind of keeps it going. But yeah, I mean, that having those, I say, standard resources available, the touch of a finger, that we can grow and add to quickly, sets us apart. And I think it makes us an attractive organization to kind of want to work with. And we've seen that from people that we've onboarded that may have worked for competitors, or here they come in and there's this wow factor because we're always be closing, whether that's customers, whether that's co-workers, whether that's laborers. That ability to showcase our culture here and how we do things, I think it makes a more attractive work environment for us, which is a huge benefit for us, especially in a market where it's hard to get people right now.
Awesome. Eric, Mike, for the sake of time, I know we're seeing a lot of requests about, hey, can you show us this? Can you show us that?
Sure.
So I'm going to jump through here, and then we'll circle back. I know we've got maybe 15 minutes left. So we'll dive into some of this and then circle back on some more questions. And I want to leave time for people to ask those questions. So I know a lot of you probably saw in the invite and why you signed up, Leap and CompanyCam now integrate. And I want to shout that from the rooftops, because it's been a long time coming. And, there's been a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes, and it really is exciting. I mean, Mike and I are just always talking about this. We've been working on it for a while, and now, we integrate. And so some of you may be saying, what does that mean? Right. And like Eric mentioned, he's got a link to CompanyCam in his resource section that he can access. And that is great. And a lot of our mutual customers do that as well. But I want to show you here, and I've got some screenshots here, and maybe if we have time, I'm happy to share my iPad screen. But really, guys, all you need to do is in the back end of Leap, just click Other Integrations, click CompanyCam, and then click that Enable button. Now, when you do that, you refresh your app, and what you'll see is when you go into, maybe you need photos, you want photos as part of your estimate, so you want to take a picture of the windows that you're replacing. or you want to add a photo to your proposal or to your contract or to your work order, whatever it may be, you'll simply tap add new, and you'll see a third option on there. So usually you just, historically you've seen your photo library or your camera on your iPad, but now you can click CompanyCam. And when you do, the first time you do that, it's what's called an OAuth, it's going to make you log into CompanyCam. So you'll log in, it's one time, you only do it once. Once you log in and you select CompanyCam, you'll see your projects listed here. So you see I've got some different projects here. If I tap into Tom's project, I can tap, it'll pull up all the photos associated with that project. I can tap on a photo that I want, and you'll see it shows up here in my add new. So that's where I've added a photo. So again, whether that's, hey, we're replacing these two windows, I want to take a picture of that. I already took a picture when I walked around the house when I got to the home. So I'm going to pull that picture back. Those are the two windows we're replacing. Great. Now, not only is it here for my estimate screen, but this carries over into the proposal and into the contract again, so that you don't have to do these things multiple times, and there's clear communication across the board. Let's see. I'll play this short little video, and then again, I'm happy to dive in. But this is you're seeing this in real time, right? So I tap two windows. Again, like on that example, hey, where are you putting those windows? The living room. Great. What's the measurement of those windows? Let's put that in there. Click Add New. I'll click CompanyCam. My projects pull up. I tap on my project. I tap on the photos that I want, and that's it. If I want to say, hey, it's these two windows, cool. You just mark that up and say, hey, it's these two windows right here. So real simple. Click Done. If you already have that done in CompanyCam, awesome. Pulls it right over. Pulls that right in. And then you have the ability to easily select between different packages and those kind of things. The last one I'll show you here, if you want to use it in a document, for instance, so you tap on your proposal template, you tap on the photos portion, you click CompanyCam, here's your project, grab that photo that you want, put it in there, make it the size you want, click next, and now you've got a proposal. And again, I don't want to get overly in the weeds on what you're seeing here, because Leap is very robust. You can create any kind of document that you want, and you can make that document look any way that you want. And obviously we've got templates and those kind of things we can help you out with, but that is where and how CompanyCam and Leap work together. So it allows you or enables you to bring in your photos that are within CompanyCam into whether an estimate section, whether it's to a proposal, to a contract, to a tech measure sheet, any type of document that you want, it all links. So I hope that sort of showcases what's available with that integration. If you do have questions, we'd love for you to put them into the chat. I know some people have been just typing away. I don't know if they're even listening. They're just chatting, which is great. I love the questions. Mike's doing his best to answer those. And then, again, we do have a promo on here. So definitely, if you're interested in CompanyCam, check out CompanyCam. If you're interested in Leap, check out Leap, and we've got some websites on the screen, so feel free to screen capture those, or write them down. And I think, Mike, if I know how to do this right, there might be a poll in here, I think. Let's see.
Yeah, I think you hit that little poll button down there. I'll kind of dig through questions as you ask this.
Let's see, poll. Eric, I know this is just launched, and so I'm sure you haven't had time to actually do all these things, but do you see a use case where you'd find benefit in being able to pull photos from CompanyCam into Leap?
Certainly, yeah. So we have not, full disclosure, we have not rolled this out into our organization yet, but absolutely being able to cross communicate the platforms. It's big, and we're excited to see the two coming together for sure.
Yeah, likewise. We just activated this morning. So again, if you're a mutual customer, you're able now to go into the back end of Leap, pull that, go to other integrations, tap CompanyCam, and switch enable on, and you'll be able to see that CompanyCam button within your Leap account. And
if you're not a CompanyCam user yet, but you are a Leap customer, like I said, we give you 14 days, especially with integrations. We're a little bit looser on that. So usually from the day you actually get it up and running to field test it, no onboarding fees or integration fees or anything like that. So definitely worth a test, in my opinion. Leap's a super cool software, so we've been excited about this integration for quite a while.
Appreciate it, Mike. I'll throw you that $20 for saying that. Thanks.
Yeah, Appreciate
Just
it.
kidding.
All right.
Do we
what
want
we
to
got
go
here?
to some questions?
There's a couple questions about, I don't know what presentation tool you should use. I think that's, I'm agnostic. I love all of our presentation tools, proposal tools, estimate tools the same. Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew,
Patty.
I'd say. So, sorry, Mike. Just to add to that, yeah, Andrew, definitely, check them out. Do your homework.
Yeah.
Do your due diligence. I would look at all of them and find out what fits your business today and what can grow with you as your business grows, if that's one of your objectives, right? So, I would definitely take the time to look into all of them and see again what fits your business the best.
Perfect. So we got a couple questions about CompanyCam around a tech support question and an issue or a question around like filters and tags. Filters and tags are easy enough. You jump into whatever project on the web version and there should be a filter button there and you can just search for whatever type of tag you're looking for. Mobile is a little bit different. I would just say to both of you guys, if you have any questions, you can jump into CompanyCam, scroll down to the bottom, and there's a support button there. I think the response time is typically like 30 seconds, so they can get any of those questions answered. But yeah, on tagging, very easy to do. Looks like Andrew is for sure doing a Leap demo, so good work, Tom.
Listen, do a demo of everybody. I mean, you're doing yourself a
Yeah.
There's so much great technology out there. Like, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't. Eric, you mentioned a lot of software that you guys use. I mean, what's that evaluation process for you look like?
That's a great question.
Oh man. It varies from one to another. I mean, we need to do a deep dive with demos. The live demos are very helpful for us anytime we're considering a new software. And then for us, as being an older organization, one of the key boxes that have got to get checked is how can we convert our already existing structure into that? Does it play well with what we've done, or do I have to start from the ground up? Those of you that may have a ground level type approach, it's nice to have that luxury. For us, we've got to make sure that any new undertaking we encounter doesn't crumble the city that we've built prior. So those live demos, trial runs, a lot of times these software places will let you have a beta version and say, try it for yourself. And I know that's been very helpful to us, is actually get hands on with the software and see, is it user friendly and does it make sense for us? Does it add value to our organization?
Yeah, absolutely. And Eric, I know like you mentioned a lot of stuff. So I heard like Engage, Market Sharp, obviously Leap, CompanyCam. There's a lot of integrations happening there too. And I imagine you're taking advantage of those. Like, is that something that you're looking for too? Is utilizing sort of a tech stack that integrates with each other?
Yeah, it's incredibly important for us to automate as many systems and processes, because frankly, it's necessary for our growth model and the projection that we want to be on. And in order for us to continue to scale, we've got to automate these things and have everything running vertically through there, where one hand is helping the other one, and that's incredibly important. I say our software deck does that right now. You pretty much mentioned everybody. It's Market Sharp is my CRM, Engage is my presentation software, Leap is my estimating contract document software, and CompanyCam is where it all comes together. That's it. So yeah, I would not take on any new programs, and in fact, we've been approached with other opportunities, but it doesn't work with Leap or it doesn't work with CompanyCam. So immediately there is no conversation there, because we've made it such a robust part of our organization.
And that's a good point. And this is, whenever people ask me like how they should shop for software, like how should they, we're only ever going to be a component of a software stack, but personally, but what I recommend to other people as well is like, if you really like a piece of software and it's integral, it's like important to your business, chances are the people that they're integrated with, they're looking for people of similar caliber, right? They're not looking to devalue their product or jump into things that they don't find up to snuff with their own. So integration app stores, for your software is always a good place to look as well. Yeah. Quick question for you, Tom. We can throw this out in the email as well. But the link for the leap.com/CompanyCam isn't working. Do you have a good link to send people to?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I've been putting it in the chat. It's leaptodigital.com.
Okay.
So leaptodigital.com.
Okay.
Awesome. I'm just getting caught up too on some of the chat. A lot of good questions coming in.
I'll just add to this, is especially you guys that are considering Leap. One of the big things for us was just the ability to customize it to how your organization works. So I can't say enough about how important that was for us to be able to truly build a platform around the way we work and operate, which is quite different than a lot of partner organizations that pretty much do the same thing. So I can't applaud Leap and the tech team there enough about how that's helped us. And again, we get stumbling blocks every now and then, but service is quick and we're back up and running. Or if we encounter an issue, we're able to problem solve that really quick and then comes out even better. Yes, the presentation software is called Engage with an I.
Yeah, and I just posted that out again. You're using Market Sharp as your CRM. You're using Leap.
Right.
You're using CompanyCam. You're using Engage.
Yes.
For presentations. So yeah, I just posted that out as well for everybody to gather. Eric, I want to just say thank you. I know we're running up on time. Really appreciate you joining us. Definitely appreciate you being a customer of Leap and CompanyCam and being available to come on here and sort of open up what your process looks like and share with everybody how you're leveraging technology and how it's helped your business. Really appreciate that. So thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate it, Eric. Yeah, and thanks again for just I'm always so interested in operation and process and the kind of things that companies put together to, that are scalable, that make them grow as businesses. So thanks for digging into that with us as well. One last housekeeping note. We will be sending out an email with some additional resources how to integrate CompanyCam with Leap. But as Eric said, if you have other products in either product, it's pretty simple. Be in Leap, turn it on, you're good to go. So awesome, guys. Yeah. Anything else from anybody?
No, I appreciate it. There will be, if people miss this recording, will go out to use to everybody that registered. We'll get a recording of this, and then feel free to shoot in your questions. You can respond to that email. Let us know if you have any questions that didn't get answered today, and we'll make sure that we get those answered for you. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome.
Yes.
Talk to you guys later.
Have a good day.
Thanks.
Good day.